The new film by Oz Perkins The Monkey has just been released in theatres, and it's another solid horror installment from the filmmaker. Like Longlegs, it's a blend of many different tones of the genre, but has a lot more comedy, and surprisingly, that comes together to deliver quite a satisfying film. For the most part, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked that it was able to leave on a meaningful note amongst all the dark comedic moments throughout. But in this explained analysis, I'm going to be giving you my breakdown of the Monkey movie, discussing full plot details, the ending, the Stephen King book differences, and much more. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't watched the film yet, then I would recommend checking it out before watching my analysis. Before I get into it though, if you want to see more on upcoming releases like The Monkey, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's dive into my explained video for Oz Perkins The Monkey. So, riding the wave of success from last year's horror sensation Longlegs, writer-director Osgood Perkins returns with The Monkey. The film is based on a Stephen King short story that revolves around a toy monkey unleashing a series of terrifying events filled with dark humour, gruesome scenes, and tragedy. Perkins has a knack for highlighting the struggle to find the good and the indifference of life towards relationships. Whether it's through misfortune or demonic possession, there always seems to be a wave of adversity. This theme is vividly illustrated in his latest film, which displays humanity being repeatedly battered with death. But while giving us this, there's a weird use of comedy in the movie that still preserves a heartfelt emotional core. It showcases actor Theo James in the dual roles of twin brothers Hal and Bill Shelburne as they navigate adulthood. However, in their early teenage years, Hal and Bill have already faced a lifetime of hardship and sorrow. Their father Petey, portrayed by Severance's Adam Scott, left them, and their mother Lois, played by Tatiana Maslany, struggles with alcoholism and a focus on death, meaning the brothers rely on one another for emotional support. This bond is tested though, as Bill's aggressive bullying often leaves Hal feeling alone. As the siblings sift through their father's possessions, they stumble upon a sinister mechanical toy monkey that unleashes gruesome deaths whenever its key is wound and the music stops. While the monkey itself doesn't kill, it orchestrates fatal accidents reminiscent of scenarios in Final Destination. One of the initial deaths involves a chef inadvertently slitting their friend's throat with a knife. Through more incidents, Hal figures out that the monkey is behind the deaths, and after enduring relentless bullying from his brother, Hal plots to use the monkey against him. But tragedy strikes when it instead claims their mother's life, shattering whatever bonds they had. In a desperate attempt to rid themselves of the cursed toy, Hal tries to destroy it, only to find it mysteriously repaired. And ultimately, the twins decide to confine the monkey in a well, marking the end of their childhood and the beginning of their separate adult lives. So years roll by and we return with Theo James's Hal, who is now a complete recluse, isolating himself from the world due to his fear of the monkey, harming those he cares about. He works at a convenience store, and we learn that his relationship with his son, appropriately named Petey, is hanging by a thread. He has one last opportunity to step up as a father, as he risks losing his parental rights to his wife's new partner, a self-help enthusiast named Ted, portrayed by Elijah Wood. In a repeat of history, Hal stands on the verge of leaving his family just as his father once did. As we saw at the start of the film with his father's fear while attempting to escape the monkey, it displays the lengths at which Hal must now go to in order to safeguard his son. Moreover, Hal's emotional withdrawal from Petey fuels his son's resentment, as Petey perceives him solely as thoughtless, unaware of the complexities of Hal's family background. This situation reinforces the theme of the monkey as a symbol of life's injustices and explores how parents can cause more harm to their children. But more centrally, the monkey is a symbol of death, and that theme is perfectly laid out by Hal and Bill's mother at the very start of the film. Moving on, we're introduced to a character named Thrasher, a rebel who discovers the monkey at a garage sale long after Hal and Bill had tossed it into the well. Thrasher's narrative also explores themes of family disconnection, as he hails from a fractured family with an unfaithful father. Driven by his own curiosity, he turns the monkey's key, leading to the shocking and gruesome death of Hal's Aunt Ida, who had cared for both boys after their mother's death. So when it comes to this monkey and to the death of people related to Hal, it seems like there's no escaping it. We come back to Hal, who is on a road trip with Petey, trying to make the most of his limited time with his son. While on the road, he receives an unexpected call from his estranged brother Bill, also portrayed by Theo James. Bill claims to him that he believes the monkey has returned and insists that Hal must track it down and bring it to him. Hal finds this request quite plausible, but is puzzled as to why Bill can't handle it himself. But before Hal can press his brother for more information, Bill then hangs up, leaving Hal with a sense of unease. So this moment makes a shift in the narrative, revealing deeper layers to the situation. Staying with the complexities of toxic family dynamics, it turns out that Bill was the mastermind behind the monkey's dramatic return. We learn that for years, Bill has harboured a deep-seated suspicion that Hal was responsible for their mother's death, leaving him traumatised and wanting revenge. So Bill meticulously devised a plan for revenge by tracking down the monkey they abandoned and releasing it back into the world, hoping it would seek out Hal as the key was turned. As he matured, Bill became increasingly convinced that the monkey was a righteous force for justice, believing that he could use it and get justice for his mother. But over time, as the deaths stack up, all of them involve those related to or around Hal and not actually Hal himself. So although the monkey embodies chaos and brutality, the core of the story lies in the fractured relationship between Hal and Bill. The focus of it shifts to the brothers' broken bond and how they might mend that connection. We learn that Hal and Petey successfully locate Bill by uncovering the phone number and address of a Mrs. Monkey, a nickname Bill used for Hal during their childhood. This brings us to the ending of the film, where we finally get the reunion of both brothers. Thrasher catches up with Hal and Petey and holds them at gunpoint. We learn that he wants the monkey himself and gets Petey to go in alone to get it for him. Once Petey goes in, he's persuaded by Bill to turn the monkey's key, and with that comes possibly the most disturbing death in the movie, as a horde of bees fly through Thrasher's mouth. Having survived this incident, Hal makes his way out of the car and into the building where Petey went in order to find his son and put an end to Bill's time with the monkey. Once Hal's inside, Bill shares his intricate reasoning with his brother, firmly asserting that he trusts the monkey won't harm whoever turns its key. Hal stands his ground, refusing to accept this notion, and in response, Bill proposes that Petey should be the one to turn the key again, arguing that it guarantees Petey's safety while it will ultimately lead to Hal's death. Hal is adamant, making several attempts to make Bill understand that this entire situation is not worth the risk. Feeling cornered and emotionally vulnerable, Bill is finally convinced by Hal, and after some brief humour with handshakes, the two of them find ground and rebuild their bond. But this reconnection doesn't stop the monkey from taking Bill's life. A cannonball smashes into Bill's head, reminiscent of the dream Hal had when he was young of dropping a bowling ball on his head. The cannonball is a result of Bill's own intricate trap designed to thwart intruders. So with Bill now dead, Hal concludes that the wisest decision is to take custody of the monkey, ensuring it stays securely locked away from everyone, never to be unleashed again. Though shaken and troubled, Hal and Petey find solace in their emotional reconnection as father and son. They exit the building, driving away and witnessing the aftermath of destruction left by the monkey following a plane crash. This mayhem stemmed from Bill's frantic attempts to eliminate Hal, as he twisted the monkey's key repeatedly, prioritizing his own trauma over any sense of community, and he ultimately wreaked havoc on those around him. Before Hal and Petey can drive off though, an old ghostly woman rides a horse in front of them. This moment echoes the vision that Hal has fixated on throughout the film. The question of whether she is a real entity or just a figment of the monkey's supernatural influence on Hal's mind adds to the unsettling ambiguity surrounding life's mysteries. The appearance of this rider, reminiscent of one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, certainly propels the monkey into a strange realm. But ultimately, this pale rider is a symbol of death itself. The theme of death is pivotal in The Monkey, and it permeates the narrative, appearing unexpectedly and consistently. And although the film incorporates humour at times, its core message revolves around the transience of life and the inevitability of death, which remains indifferent to a person's age, status, or ethical decisions. Bill makes every effort to manipulate the monkey into carrying out his wishes, just as Hal attempts to do in his youth, but their efforts are futile. And that's because death is unconcerned with feelings of vengeance. In the film, every character's demise occurs by chance, with the monkey quickening these events, often in a more brutal manner, yet always unexpectedly. There's no reason to it because it mirrors the unpredictability of life, as highlighted by the message on the monkey's box. So this randomness suggests that tragedy can strike anyone at any moment. And while the monkey toy may be an exaggeration, it maintains this unsettling awareness. The film definitely ends with a good sense of humour and meaning though, as after Hal proposes taking PT to a public attraction and they drive off, a bus is ran into and the cheerleaders inside all brutally die. It's a bloody yet comedic note that perfectly encapsulates the film's message, illustrating that the monkey truly embodies the unpredictability of life. So now that we've gone over the ending of Perkins' film, it's time to go into some of the differences between Stephen King's story and the director's adaptation. Although both narratives revolve around a cursed toy monkey that brings death and chaos, the plot and characters in The Monkey diverge significantly. This divergence enables the film to adopt a darker comedic tone, it elevates supporting characters, and highlights the transformation of Bill into a main antagonist. To begin with, the conclusion of The Monkey takes a significant departure from Stephen King's original short story. In King's narrative, Hal and PT toss the toy monkey in a bag with rocks and send it into the depths of a lake. This action results in the death of countless fish and nearly claims Hal's life when the boat is destroyed after the monkey claps its cymbals one final time. So the film's ending is far more brutal than that of the short story. Additionally, King's monkey does not have drumsticks, Hal is portrayed without a twin, and while Hal is a father to two sons, he only has the help of PT. Hal generally maintains a positive relationship with his family, only showing anger when the monkey is found. Also, in the short story version, Bill and Hal's father plays a minimal role, remaining largely absent from their lives. He is not even given a name in the book and is described as a merchant mariner. Hal, lacking any memories of him, speculates whether he might have fallen victim to the monkey, whereas the film delves a bit deeper into their father's character, revealing that his name was also PT. Furthermore, like I touched on before, Bill serves as a minor supporting character in the short story. Although he shares memories of the monkey from their childhood and has experienced pain because of it, his relationship with his brother is not as problematic and has led to a much more content life. And finally, when it comes to Hal and Bill's mother Lois, she plays a much more significant role compared to her portrayal in the short story. In King's original tale, her passing is just noted to have happened, which results in the boys being raised by their Aunt Ida and Uncle Will. We see in the film that she has much more screen time, and her speech on death pretty much forms the thematic impact of the story. Also, in mentioning the boy's Aunt Ida, in the film her husband is known as Chip and doesn't have as much importance as Uncle Will does in the short story. Still, they both serve a similar role in taking on the responsibility of adopting the boys and openly acknowledging their shortcomings as parental figures. But moving on from this, the last thing to talk about is whether the ending of The Monkey leaves the door open for more movies set around the introduced horror character. Now, the film's conclusion hints at a possible sequel by leaving the monkey with Hal. A follow-up could involve the monkey ending up with someone else, leading to a fresh wave of murders and the introduction of new characters. Additionally, a sequel might delve into another toy that possesses deadly capabilities coming from the same place. Given the enigmatic origins of the monkey, there's potential to explore a different toy from there. It reminds me a bit of Ed and Lorraine Warren's room from the Conjuring films, and how those later projects explored different entities. Another film could also take the prequel route, delving into the backstory of Hal and Bill's father. Given the nature of his disappearance, a monkey prequel could investigate how Adam Scott's PT came into possession of the toy and what transpired afterward. This narrative would seamlessly connect the two films while building up to what we know from the start of The Monkey with Hal and Bill. There's significant potential in exploring the elder PT's journey, allowing Perkins to further develop the worlds that he's adapted. So we'll have to see what happens, and it mainly depends on the performance of this current film at the box office. I think it will do well, and I think based on that success, they'll eventually go into production with another idea. But that was my breakdown and analysis for Oz Perkins The Monkey. I really enjoyed Perkins' latest film, and while I don't think it's on the level of something like Longlegs when it comes to the filmmaking and performances, I still had a hell of a good time with it, and I appreciated that it still had an effective message in there too. I like that Perkins goes from one type of horror to a complete different one in each film, and it gets me excited to see which route he'll go in next. But I do hope this breakdown did help some of you guys understand the film and the main details a bit better, and overall, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it, so don't forget to let me know down below in the comment section. For more videos on upcoming film releases like The Monkey, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, rating, and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.